Hey guys, it's Mike again with another deck profile, and today we're covering my trap tricks. So, not a whole lot has changed, but we can talk about some things that I might change going forward. So we're going to start with the main girls. So 3 Murmello, she grabs you your traps, or your trap holes, and when you special summon her, she pops something, and it's a mandatory, which is really nice for Sarah because she always triggers it. 3 Mantis, she does have the reset effect, but the really nice thing is she can grab another girl for you, which is really good because she can help trigger off of Garden to get other extra normal summons. 3 Boudica, I'm probably never going to play less than 3 because I love her Banish, and the field spell is really, really good. Alright, and then to finish out the girls, we've got 2 Dionea. You don't need 3, because she doesn't do a whole lot by herself, but when she's normal summoned, she gets another Trap Tricks monster that can be summoned in defense, so you can't get Sarah, because Sarah can't be summoned in defense. Back to the board, which can be really nice for going into XYZ plays, and then when she special summons, she puts a trap hole back on the board, which is really nice. I went down to 2 Kampas. I can't remember if my last video had 2 Kampas in it as well. It might have. I did play 3. I cut down to 2 semi-recently, and then we're playing 1 Vesiculo. I really like Vesi. She can be useful when you don't want to get locked by Kampa, since Kampa locks you into extra deck monsters that are only insects or plants. Vesiculo doesn't do that. And you special summon her by sending a set trap on your side of the field, so it can be a use for those evenlies you don't need anymore. And now for the monsters that aren't trap tricks, 3 Parallel Exceed. It's one of the best cards in the deck. It really helps with your XYZ plays. There's nothing better than a normal trap tricks monster, a Holotea, and Parallel Exceed in your hand, because you know you're doing pretty good that game. 3 Ash Blossom. I really like Ash. She's super good and generic. And then I think I talked about it in my last profile. I like Ogre in this deck, because even if Ogre isn't necessarily the best hand trap at that moment in time, Trap Trick's biggest problem is just clearing monsters that have already been summoned off the board, and Ogre's a decent way of doing that. So now into the bulk of the deck of the traps. 3 Infinite Impermanence. Pretty self-explanatory. It's a good hand trap, and it's a trap, so it triggers Sarah. 3 Evenly. Talked about these before. Even when this card is only mid, which it's not right now, it's a pretty good card. I like main decking it because it's pretty much free, because even if you don't need to use it, you can pitch it for Holotea, which is amazing. This is probably the best card in the deck. It's what enables you to go into so many XYZ and Link plays. This card is just amazing. And then we can go into my trap holes. So this hasn't changed. So I'm still on 2 Floodgates and 2 Gravediggers. I play 2 Gravediggers because I really don't like drawing it and getting hit by Nib. And then we're on 1 Nightmare and 1 Bottomless. The Bottomless could be a Terrifying or a Time Space. I'm just playing Bottomless because there's more branded where I play, and it's more generic, so I like it. And then we're only playing 4 spells. We're playing 2 of the field spell. I really like drawing it, and I like tutoring it. It gives you another way to get a normal summon trigger off Boudica if you need, and Garden is just a really powerful spell. And then I tried out 2 talents. I really like talents in this deck. Sometimes you just brick when your opponent ashes you or something, and you just really need a way to draw, and talent solves that problem. So now onto the extra deck. 3 Sarahs. I don't think I'd ever change this. Technically, you could play 2. I wouldn't. I'd always play 3. This card is insane. And we're on 1 Adipus. I don't think you need more than 1. She's really powerful, but mostly you just use her as a pop, and then you're trying to clear the board and end the game. And then into the XYZs, we've got 2 Rafflesia. I have seen some lists that only play 1. I like 2, not just because I have 2 ultis, but because it gives you another option to go into defense if the game is going long. And then for the last of the Trap Tricks monsters, I've got 1 Pingu and 1 Allomeris. I've tried 2 Pingu, and I wouldn't be opposed to doing it again. I do really like Pingu. There's just other options I've found that I think are better right now. And then the only non-Trap Tricks link is also the Earth Charmer. This is probably going to get changed soon. I don't see as much Earth running around. This is really just if there's enough targets to pick it up, you play it. Then for my generic XYZs, Time Thief. He's an honorary Trap Tricks. He's amazing. You make him off of Holatea and it immediately gives you a bounce. Eats cards off your opponent's library. And then the nice part is if you get Even Lead, which is the kill button against Trap Tricks, you can just flicker him by getting rid of a monster off of him, and then he comes back so he doesn't get gotten rid of by Even Lead. Bagooska, he's just a good stall card. He is what my second Pudica was. Pingakula. I wanted to try Bagooska because I saw some lists running him and it seemed like a pretty decent way to stall out if you get a bricky hand or if your opponent stops you. The one of Excitement Knight, he's effectively an easier to get to Zeus sometimes. Sometimes you just need to clear a board. And then for the last 3 slots, Merrymaker to go into Sargus to go into Zeus. So this lets you get a 4 material Zeus, which is nice, and Sargus isn't bad himself because you just make Sargus, and then whenever you activate another XYZ, he lets you pop or bounce something to your opponent's hand, which is really nice. Those sticky permanents that are hard to get rid of. And then onto my board, which is a lot of going second cards, just because of how bad the Trap Tricks matchup is going second, unfortunately. So we're going to start with Pankratops. Just a good card to pop things, and 3 Kaijus. I kind of see Kaiju as a trap hole that I can activate after the opponent's monster has been summoned. Kind of like I was saying with Ghost Ogre, your biggest problem here is dealing with monsters that have already hit the board. So Kaijus are pretty good about that, and you play the turtle because Pingu can beat over him. Alright, now onto traps. Anti-Spell Fragrance, not a whole lot needs to be said, it's a really good card. Solemn Judgment. This one is kind of your choice. I just happen to really like Solemn Judgment. That's why I was playing it in GOAT a lot if you've seen my other profiles. I just like this card, and it's pretty decent most of the time, so I just like playing it in the board. And then for the spells, we've got 2 Cosmic Cyclones. I only play 2, because you do have the pop off of Murmello. It's just this banishes, and sometimes that's relevant. And 3 Dark Ruler No More. This, again, helps with the problem I was talking about before, where when cards hit the board, you have a hard time dealing with them, so this can help clean it up. Now, one thing that I'm going to mention also, this is not necessarily good right now, but if you can get Banishing Trap Hole for pretty cheap, this is something that I could see being good, since it's effectively just a reverse bottomless trap hole. And I'm personally of the opinion that if you really like a deck, you should probably get every card that's playable for it, because you don't really know what cards are going to be released a year from now, and whether this card will become really good in your deck, and it might be harder to acquire later. So I think these are like 20 cents. At least get one. I've got like 2 or 3, just in case. And that's my Trap Tricks profile. Hope you guys like it, and like and subscribe.